In 1972, a man put a small white dot on a black screen. It bounced back and forth. That was it. No story, no characters, no world to explore, just a dot. And people lost their minds over it. That single dot, which we now call Pong, started something that would grow into the largest entertainment industry in human history. Bigger than Hollywood, bigger than music, bigger than sports. Today, gaming generates over $300 billion a year. It has created millionaires, billionaires, cultural movements, and wars between corporations worth more than some countries. But nobody planned this. Nobody sat in a room and said, let's build a $300 billion empire. It happened by accident, by obsession, by a few strange, brilliant people who just wanted to make something fun. This is the full story. Before games were an industry, they were an experiment. It was 1958. A physicist named William Higginbotham was working at a nuclear research laboratory in New York. He was bored. Not the kind of bored where you scroll your phone, the kind of bored where you build something. He created a simple tennis simulation on an oscilloscope screen. It wasn't meant to be sold. It wasn't meant to be famous. It was just something to show visitors at an open day. But people couldn't stop playing it. Something clicked in the human brain. Control, feedback, challenge, reward. The formula was ancient. Humans have always loved games, chess, cards, board games, sports. The desire to play is wired into us. But this was different. This was interactive, electronic, instant. Fast forward to 1972. Atari is founded by Nolan Bushnell in California. By 1982, everybody wanted a piece of the gaming gold rush. Every company, toy makers, film studios, electronics brands, started rushing out games. Fast, cheap, without care. The shelves were flooded with garbage. The most famous disaster was E.T. the Extraterrestrial for Atari. Atari paid $25 million just for the license, then rushed the entire game development in 5 weeks. 5 weeks! What came out was unplayable, broken, confusing. Millions of copies were made, almost none sold. The story goes, and this is real, that Atari literally buried truckloads of unsold cartridges in a New Mexico desert landfill in the middle of the night. They dug up that landfill in 2014. The cartridges were there. The 1983 crash wiped out 97% of gaming revenue in North America. Companies collapsed overnight. Investors ran. Retailers refused to stock games. Newspapers wrote the obituary of the gaming industry. Video games are a fad. They're over. It was fun while it lasted. They were wrong. Because in 1983, in a small Japanese company called Nintendo, a designer named Shigeru Miyamoto was building something. Nintendo had been making playing cards since 1889. Yes, 1889. They had survived over a century by understanding one thing deeply. People want to play. When they entered the gaming market, they didn't rush. They obsessed over quality. In 1983, they released the Famicom in Japan. In 1985, it arrived in America as the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. But here's the brilliant move nobody gives them enough credit for. American retailers didn't want to sell games anymore. The crash had humiliated them. So Nintendo didn't call it a game console. They called it an entertainment system. They packaged it with a robot toy called ROB. They put it in the toy section, not the electronics section. They disguised a revolution as a toy. Super Mario Bros. Launches with it. It sells 40 million copies. Children who played it in 1985 still remember exactly where they were, what the carpet smelled like, how the controller felt. That's not just a game. That's a memory implanted into a generation. Then came the war. Sega enters the market with the Mega Drive, called the Genesis in America. Their marketing strategy was simple and brutal. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. They signed Sonic the Hedgehog. Faster, cooler, with attitude. Nintendo had the family market. Sega wanted the teenagers. The console war was real. Children argued in playgrounds. Parents argued in toy stores. Gaming magazines chose sides. This competition, this war, was actually the best thing that ever happened to gaming, because competition breeds innovation. Both companies pushed harder, faster, better, because they had to, but neither of them was ready for what happened next. Sony was not supposed to be in gaming. They were a consumer electronics company, televisions, Walkman, hi-fi systems. But in the early 1990s, they had a deal with Nintendo to build a CD-ROM attachment for the Super Nintendo. Nintendo canceled the deal at the last minute, publicly, at a major trade show, without warning. It was humiliating. Sony decided to build their own console, out of revenge. In 1994, the PlayStation launched, and nothing was ever the same. Here's why the PlayStation mattered beyond just being a good console. It made gaming adult. Before PlayStation, gaming was seen as something for children. Parents tolerated it. Teenagers grew out of it. PlayStation changed the image completely. The games were darker, more complex, more cinematic. Metal Gear Solid had a story more sophisticated than most Hollywood films. Final Fantasy VII made grown men cry. Resident Evil terrified people. Gran Turismo was so realistic that car manufacturers took notice. Gaming wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was art, culture, identity. And then Sony did something even more powerful. They made gaming social. The PlayStation was placed in living rooms, not bedrooms. Multiple controllers, friends coming over, gaming as a shared experience. By 2000, PlayStation had sold over 100 million units. That number had never been seen before. The movie industry was watching. The music industry was watching. Everyone was watching. While consoles were fighting in living rooms, something was happening on computers. Something quieter, more dangerous, more revolutionary. 1993, id Software releases Doom. You could now connect two computers and play against a real human being. Not a machine, not an AI, another person who could think, adapt, surprise you. The feeling was indescribable. Suddenly, gaming wasn't about beating a programmed system. It was about dominating another human mind. Then in 1999, a small company releases a game as a free modification. Counter-Strike. No budget, no marketing, no major publisher, just skill, creativity, and the internet. Within months, it has millions of players. It is still, 25 years later, one of the most played games on Earth. The industry took notes. You don't need a massive budget. You need a great idea and a connected world. Then the internet changed everything again. 2004, World of Warcraft launches. An online world so deep, so alive, so consuming that people lost jobs, relationships, thousands of hours. At its peak, 12 million people were paying a monthly subscription fee just to live inside this virtual world. Not own it, live in it. Gaming was no longer a hobby. For millions of people, it was becoming a second life. Now let's talk about the game you already know, the game that your parents feared, politicians tried to ban, teachers blamed for violence, and 225 million people chose anyway. Grand Theft Auto. It began in 1997, a small Scottish studio called DMA Design, later renamed Rockstar Games. The first GTA was 2D, top-down, simple. You were a criminal in a city. You stole cars. You ran from police. You completed missions for gangsters. The graphics were primitive, but the idea was explosive. For the first time in gaming history, you had true freedom. You didn't have to follow the mission. You could just exist in the city, drive around, cause chaos, see what happened. Freedom in a virtual world. Nobody had offered this before, but the real earthquake came in 2001. Grand Theft Auto 3, full 3D, a living, breathing city, radio stations with real music, characters with personality, a story with depth. You weren't just playing a game, you were inside a world. Gaming journalists ran out of words. This is not a game, this is a place. Players called in sick to work, students skipped class. GTA 3 didn't just sell well, it redefined what a game could be. 2002, GTA Vice City, 1980s Miami, neon lights, Tommy Vercetti, a story ripped from Scarface. The atmosphere was so perfect that people weren't just playing, they were experiencing a decade they'd never lived in. 2004, GTA San Andreas, the biggest world Rockstar had ever built. 3 cities, countryside, desert, mountains. CJ became one of the most iconic video game characters ever created. The story touched on gang culture, police corruption, family loyalty, betrayal. This wasn't just a game for teenagers. This was a cultural document. 2008. GTA 4. Darker, more realistic, more human. Nico Bellic, an immigrant escaping war, chasing the American dream, only to find the dream is a lie. Games journalists called it one of the greatest achievements in storytelling across any medium, not just in gaming, in any medium. And then, 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5, $265 million production budget. At the time, the most expensive entertainment product ever made. It made $800 million in its first 24 hours, not its first week, its first 24 hours. For comparison, the highest-grossing movie opening weekend at that time was around $200 million. GTA 5 didn't just beat Hollywood, it humiliated Hollywood. But the real genius wasn't the game, it was what came after. GTA Online. A living, persistent, online world where millions of players existed simultaneously. Rockstar didn't sell you a complete game. They sold you a world, and then kept building it. New missions, new cars, new weapons, new businesses, and they sold virtual currency, shark cards, real money for virtual cash. By 2023, GTA 5 had generated over $8 billion in revenue from one game, released in 2013, still making hundreds of millions every year. This is no longer just a game, it is a living economy. Let's talk about the game the entire world is waiting for. Not just gamers, everyone. When Rockstar released the first GTA 6 trailer in December 2023, it hit 93 million views in 24 hours on YouTube. 93 million, the most viewed game trailer in history, by a distance. For context, major Hollywood blockbuster trailers get 10 to 20 million views. A game trailer nearly quintupled that, in one day. That moment alone tells you everything about where gaming stands in human culture right now. GTA 5 released in 2013. That means by the time GTA 6 releases, it will have been over 12 years between mainline GTA games. 12 years. An entire generation of children were born, grew up, and became teenagers during the wait for GTA 6. Children who played GTA 5 at age 10 are now in their early 20s. The wait became part of gaming culture itself. Every year, rumors, leaks, false announcements, fake screenshots, Reddit threads with millions of posts, YouTube channels built entirely around GTA 6 speculation. An entire economy of anticipation grew around a game that hadn't even been officially announced yet. Then in September 2022, something unprecedented happened. A hacker broke into Rockstar's internal systems and leaked 90 videos of early GTA 6 development footage. Unfinished, rough, unpolished. The gaming world exploded. Even in that raw, unfinished state, people could see it. This was going to be something different. Rockstar confirmed the leak was real, and the wait became unbearable. GTA 6 is set in Leonida, a fictional version of Florida, centered around Vice City, Rockstar's fictional Miami. But this is not the Vice City of 2002. This is a living, breathing, modern metropolitan world. The map is reportedly the largest in GTA history. Not just large, alive. Dynamic weather systems, real-time flooding, hurricanes that physically reshape the environment. The world doesn't just exist around you, it reacts to you. For the first time in GTA mainline history, a female protagonist. Lucia. This is not a small decision. Rockstar spent years developing her character, her story, her voice. The dynamic appears to be inspired by Bonnie and Clyde, two people against the world. GTA has always pushed narrative boundaries. With two protagonists and a modern Florida setting, they have infinite material to work with. Social media culture, influencer economy, political corruption, drug trafficking, tourism and crime existing side by side. Florida is one of the most cinematically rich states in America, and Rockstar has spent a decade studying it. The footage shown so far has left the industry speechless. Individual blades of grass reacting to wind. Water physics so detailed that rain fills streets in real time. NPC characters, background people, with individual routines, behaviors, and reactions. In previous open-world games, background characters were decorations. In GTA 6, they appear to have lives. One leaked clip showed an NPC woman having an argument on her phone while walking a dog, completely unscripted, completely organic. That is the level of detail Rockstar is operating at. Rockstar isn't just making a game sequel. They are building a virtual society. Some analysts believe GTA 6 Online could generate more revenue than GTA 5 Online did over its entire lifetime within its first 2 years. GTA Online made billions through its virtual economy. GTA 6 is reported to take this infinitely further, an evolving online world that updates in real time, businesses you can genuinely build and manage, a dynamic economy where player actions influence market prices, property systems, investment systems, criminal empires. Rockstar isn't just making a game sequel, they are building a virtual society. Some analysts believe GTA 6 Online could generate more revenue than GTA 5 Online did over its entire lifetime, within its first 2 years. The game world has its own fictional social media platform. Characters post, react, go viral, get cancelled. The satire of modern internet culture is embedded into the game's DNA. In a world obsessed with likes and followers, GTA 6 is going to hold a mirror up to all of us. And knowing Rockstar, it will be brutal, hilarious, painfully accurate. Now let's talk about the element almost nobody is discussing properly. Not the graphics, not the story, not the hardware. The element that will separate this game from everything that came before it. Not just in GTA history, in all of gaming history. Artificial intelligence. To understand how revolutionary this is, you need to understand how embarrassingly simple game AI used to be. In early GTA games, if you committed a crime in front of a police officer, the officer would chase you. But if you ran around a corner and stood still, the officer would forget you existed. Completely. No memory, no logic, no persistence, just, I can't see you, therefore you don't exist. NPCs, the background people in game worlds, were essentially robots running simple scripts. Walk to point A, stand at point B, say one of 3 phrases, repeat forever. They weren't characters, they were furniture. You could watch the same NPC do the exact same routine for hours. They weren't characters, they were furniture. Games slowly improved this. GTA 4 introduced NPCs that would take cover, call for backup, remember your face temporarily. GTA 5 pushed further. Police would set up roadblocks, coordinate pursuits, adapt tactics. Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar's other masterpiece, showed NPCs that remembered your actions across the entire game world. Insult someone in Chapter 1, they'd still be hostile in Chapter 4. That felt revolutionary. GTA 6 makes that look primitive. Rockstar has spent years developing what insiders are calling the most advanced NPC behavior system ever built for a video game. Let's break down exactly what this means. Traditional game NPCs follow decision trees. If player does X, NPC does Y. Simple, predictable, breakable. GTA 6 NPCs are reported to use neural network-based behavior systems. This means instead of following a script, NPCs learn, adapt, make decisions based on context. A shopkeeper who gets robbed once will be more nervous the next time you enter, will potentially have hired security, might recognize you and call police before you do anything. The world remembers you. Walk into a bar wearing expensive clothes after a high-profile heist that's all over the in-game news. NPCs will talk about it. The conversation system is no longer a library of recorded lines. It is a living, reactive dialogue engine. Police behavior in GTA 6 is reportedly the most sophisticated law enforcement simulation ever built in a game. Old GTA police were essentially angry, heat-seeking missiles. GTA 6 police, think. They analyze crime scenes. They gather witness testimony from NPCs who saw what happened. They coordinate across departments. They set up genuinely intelligent ambushes based on your known patterns. And here is what will genuinely change how you play. They learn your tactics. If you always escape by going to the same area of the map, eventually, they'll be waiting there. If you always use the same type of vehicle, they'll specifically target that vehicle type. The game will study how you play and adapt to counter you. This is not scripted difficulty. This is machine learning applied to law enforcement simulation. Every NPC in the city has a home location, a work location, a daily routine, relationships with other NPCs, financial circumstances that affect their behavior, emotional states that change based on events. A natural disaster, like a hurricane that the game simulates in real time, changes the behavior of thousands of NPCs simultaneously. People evacuate, some loot, some help neighbors, some panic. No two disasters play out identically, because no two crowds of thinking, reacting individuals ever behave identically. AI is now being used to build the games themselves. Ubisoft developed an AI tool called Ghostwriter. It generates NPC dialogue automatically. What used to take a writer weeks, AI produces in minutes. Developers are using AI to generate textures, landscapes, buildings, entire city blocks. The game worlds of the future will be partly built by machines. But let's be honest, the same AI systems that make games more immersive make them more addictive. If an AI system can study your behavior and adapt the game to keep you playing, it will. The game that learns what keeps you engaged and then uses that knowledge to keep you engaged is not just entertainment. It is a psychological system designed to capture your attention. The line between an immersive experience and a manipulative one is thinner than most people realize. This is a conversation the gaming industry needs to have, and mostly is avoiding. How realistic? We are standing at the most extraordinary moment in gaming history. GTA 6 with its AI systems, PS5 with its hardware revolution, mobile gaming reaching half the planet, streaming turning players into media empires, and artificial intelligence beginning to blur the line between a game world and a real one. The question being asked in laboratories, boardrooms, and university research departments right now is, how realistic is too realistic? When does a simulated world become indistinguishable from the actual world? When NPCs remember you, adapt to you, talk to you, react to your emotions. At what point do you stop calling them NPCs and start calling them something else? These are not science fiction questions. They are questions that GTA 6 and the games that follow it are going to force us to answer. In 1972, a dot bounced on a screen. In 2025, an artificial intelligence inside a virtual Florida city will study how you drive, how you fight, how you escape, and adapt an entire living world around your behavior. From a bouncing dot to a thinking world. The people who made Pong could never have imagined this. Neither could we, until now. For decades, a strange question existed in gaming culture. Why would anyone watch someone else play a game? It seemed illogical. If you enjoy gaming, play yourself. Why watch? The answer turned out to be the same reason people watch sports: skill, personality, community, entertainment. 2005, YouTube launches. Early gaming videos were rough. Bedroom setups, poor microphones, shaky cameras, but people watched because the personality behind the controller mattered. 2010, Felix Kjellberg creates a YouTube channel. You know him as PewDiePie. His formula was simple: genuine reactions, humor, personality. He was just a guy playing games and being himself. By 2013, he was the most subscribed channel on YouTube. Not the most subscribed gaming channel, the most subscribed channel on all of YouTube. A guy in his bedroom playing games had beaten every major media corporation on the planet's biggest video platform. The entertainment industry had a crisis meeting it never told you about. 2011, Twitch launches. Live streaming gaming. This was different from YouTube. This was real time. You could watch your favorite streamer live, chat with them, donate money, build a community in real time. Ninja, Tyler Blevins, playing Fortnite becomes a cultural phenomenon. At his peak, 600,000 people are watching him play a video game simultaneously. He signs a deal with Microsoft reported at $30 million to play games. And the money flowing through this ecosystem is staggering. Streamers earn through subscriptions, donations, sponsorships, merchandise, tournament prize pools, YouTube ad revenue, brand deals. The top 100 streamers collectively earn hundreds of millions of dollars per year. Children growing up today don't want to be footballers or astronauts. They want to be streamers. This is not a trend. This is a generational shift in what success looks like. For decades, gaming had a gatekeeping problem. You needed expensive equipment, a console, a PC, a television. Gaming was accessible, but not truly universal. 2007, the iPhone launches. 2008, the App Store opens. Suddenly, 1 billion people had a gaming device in their pocket. Angry Birds, Candy Crush, Clash of Clans. These weren't real games according to hardcore gamers, but they reached people gaming had never reached. Your grandmother, your accountant, your doctor. Candy Crush alone has generated over $10 billion in revenue from matching colored sweets. Today the numbers are almost impossible to comprehend. 3.2 billion people on Earth play video games. That's nearly half the human population. The global gaming market is worth over $300 billion. Esports tournaments fill stadiums that once hosted Olympic events. Fortnite has had in-game concerts attended by 12 million simultaneous players. Not real concerts, virtual concerts, inside a game. Here's what I want you to think about. Gaming is so often dismissed, mocked, blamed. Politicians blame it for violence, parents blame it for laziness, schools blame it for distraction. But consider what gaming actually represents. When a child plays a difficult game and fails, repeatedly, and then figures it out and succeeds, they're learning resilience. When millions of people build communities around shared gaming experiences, they're solving loneliness. When a teenager in a poor country picks up a controller and discovers they have elite-level skill and builds a career from it, gaming just rewrote what opportunity looks like. And GTA, the game so many people wanted banned, let's be honest about what it actually gave people. It gave millions of people from difficult backgrounds a world where they had power, where they could explore freedom without real consequences, where they could experience a cinematic, dramatic, complex story, where they could feel something. That's not dangerous. That's deeply human. In 1972, a dot bounced on a black screen. In 2024, half the human race plays games. The person who created Pong had no idea what they were starting. The brothers who founded Nintendo as a playing card company had no idea they'd reshape global culture. The small Scottish studio that made a chaotic 2D crime game had no idea they'd eventually out-earn Hollywood. And the teenagers streaming in their bedrooms had no idea they'd become the new generation of self-made millionaires. This industry was built not by corporations, not by investors, not by marketing departments. It was built by people who loved to play and couldn't stop. And that, more than anything, is why it will never stop growing. The game is far from over.